3 5-minute presentations for you to go now, and then we can all have a little bit of a break, enjoy some food, because how can we have a whole morning of talking about it without eating it? So, we're moving on. For a 5-minute presentation, please welcome onto the stage Mohamed Al Fayed, the CEO of Grubtech, and he's going to be talking about Innovate or Die, and why you should be thinking about today to be ready for tomorrow.
How's everybody doing? I am really happy that this is actually a physical event and not a virtual one. To see so many people in the audience and some of our partners, puts a big old warm smile on my heart. So nothing's happening. So today I'm going to talk to you about one of the biggest challenges that is facing the hospitality industry today, which is the speed in which you have to adapt to the innovation. Whether it's technology innovation, business model innovation, new virtual brands, celebrity brands, it's all happening at a faster pace than ever before. So no big secret that modern technology is transforming pretty much everything. Every sector, including the hospitality industry, is being impacted by this. And it's happening across multiple vectors. Our business models are changing. Virtual brands are coming in, celebrity brands are coming in, cloud kitchens are born, micro cloud kitchens are here. And our customer experience and its behavior have also changed and adapted. Pre-COVID, you walked into a restaurant, you ordered your food, you may have drove through the drive-thru or picked it up. Now we order our food through our phone, social media channels, food aggregators, and the likes of. Our operating model was impacted. In the past, we had to process food serially. So a customer walked in, you took their order, you processed it, you served it. Now, during peak hours, like lunch and dinner, you have to process in parallel. And that's a significant change. And with all that comes an abundance of data, whether it's operational data, sales data, or customer data. Unfortunately, legacy technology hasn't kept up with this pace. And I'll show you. On average, the hospitality industry spends anywhere between 1% to 2% of their revenue on technology. But digitized sectors typically spend between 5 and 6%. If you look at retail, travel, that's how much it takes to keep up with the digitization of the sector. It's rife and fertile grounds for digitization. With all this, you would think that we'd be at double-digit digital penetration, but we're actually not. Most of the world is sub 10%. Whether you're at 2% in certain areas or 8% in more developed areas, we have a lot of headroom to go. So if we look at parallels like retail and travel, you'll see that we'll be in about 20 to 30% digital penetration very soon. Cloud kitchens, $72 billion opportunity by 2027. And you've seen some recent announcements like Reef Technologies coming into the region. This is just going to get bigger and faster. But there's opportunities for innovation. If you look at your revenue, it is table stakes that you're an omni-channel operator. That doesn't mean just being on food aggregators. That means having your own direct channel, having QR codes on your tables, having your own social commerce channels, WhatsApp, phone. Cloud kitchens, they're not necessarily the bad guys. You could use kitchen infrastructure as a service to teleport your brand geographically or to other cities. And you can virtually franchise your successful brands to these operators, like Reef, okay, and drive out the brand equity through revenue share. And influencer brands. You guys have seen DJ Khaled launch his Wings brand simultaneously across 30 cities. That's just the beginning. We know that Cindy Crawford's burger is coming in, John Lewis's burger is coming in, and there's a lot more. You can use your existing infrastructure as host kitchens for these brands, and there's plenty of opportunities. But you can't do this without being efficient. So you've got to look at your order life cycle. You've got to automate everything minus cooking the food. And if you look in Europe, you've seen US and North America having labor shortages, and that's driving the adoption of robotics in the kitchen. That will reduce the performance price index, and that will accelerate its integration into your kitchen. You have to be a data-driven organization. You have to obsess about every single KPI and OKR in your organization and make sure you're focused and driving your organization towards that efficiency. and you have to cross-utilize. Whether it's your ingredient list, your manpower, or your appliances, you have to sweat the asset. And when it comes down to the customer, you have to envision a future where hyper-personalization at scale is a reality. So a loyalty program allows you an exchange of value. Customers give you information, name, gender, home address, and you reward them with free food, points that are redeemable, perhaps even a better service. Use that information to create a personalized experience for your customer, whether it's through online channels or in the restaurant itself. And I gather that about 70% of you guys are wearing one of these. I see a future where there's an intersect between food and medicine. Every one of this is creating an abundance of information, whether it's calories burned, steps walked, or what I did in the gym this morning. That will inform how we consume our food. You have to accept that change is the new norm. This is not going to slow down. This is not going to stop. Moore's Law tells us that technology doubles every 8 months and gets cheaper by 30% every 8 months. So what can you do about it? Act like a startup. Embrace the technology. But having technology for the sake of technology is useless. You got to do what Apple does. Put the center at the heart of it, and then build or buy the technology around it to enhance and remove the friction points that you have. Adapt to fail fast, learn fast. As a startup, we screw up pretty much daily. But every time we screw up, we learn from that mistake. We make sure that the screw up doesn't cost the company its future, and we iterate. Look at your operation from a startup lens. Create hyper-experimentation and allow and embrace failure. Every failure teaches you something, and iterate. And lastly, hyper-efficiency. You gotta be obsessed with that. You've spent a ton of money on technology. You've spent a ton of money on your assets. You have to sweat that asset to its maximum capability. Whether you're hosting virtual brands, hosting celebrity brands, making sure that every hour slot in your kitchen is fully utilized, whether it's manpower or supply chain, is the way to go. Thank you very much. And look, I know I went through this a million miles an hour. I'm sure there's a lot of questions. Our booth is right out there. Please stop by the Grubtech booth, and I'll happily answer any of these.
Thank you, Mohamed. Great speech. See, somebody's on a plant-based diet there, looking very, very trim and very healthy.